Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? All right, I've seen this picture about 1,000,000 times by now. And if I didn't know any better, I swear these are like some type of pre-stock pictures. And I've seen these pictures for academia as well. They got the guy sitting behind the desk. He's holding onto a phone, looking like he's talking to somebody. It just looks fake as all get up. First of all, where's all the paperwork? Does this guy do any work? There's nothing on the desk. The desk is absolutely squeaky clean. And I'm not even sure this phone is plugged in. I'm sure what the picture is used for is anytime they want to talk about the prime minister doing something serious, they use this stock photo that they have of the individual talking on the phone. I just thought it was funny that they want to make this guy look all serious, but there is absolutely no sticky notes, no papers, no contracts, nothing for the guy to review, no work whatsoever on his desk, okay? Anyways, I am seeing something interesting happen around the world. There is, without a doubt, battles going on politically. And I'm not talking about your regular political rhetoric. There are people who are represented by the World Economic Forum, George Soros and Klaus Schwab, versus those who want their freedom and their sovereignty. There's examples of this just about everywhere. Over in Brazil, the Trump-like candidate who wanted to give his people freedom lost his election. He's claiming it's rigged, and he's now challenging it. Over here in America, of course, we have the Democrats who pushing the Great Reset, the World Economic Forum's agenda. We know they are backed by this New World Order government. The same things happen over in Canada, New Zealand, Australia, and also in the UK. It doesn't take very much research to go in there to see what each party stands for. There's good versus evil. Those who are trying to preserve the culture, the freedom, and the sovereignty of your nation are the good guys. Those who are trying to force us into this New World Order agenda is not good. I mean, the Bible talks about this one world government. And you got Klaus Schwab out there supporting people like Macron, Justin Trudeau, Biden. It's terrible, you guys, but it's out there. And you're going to start to see it here in Iraq as well. Before we get started, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I certainly do appreciate it. If you're thinking about buying gold and silver, now's the time to buy the shine. Head on over to our friends at Money Metals Exchange. The link is down below in the description. If you are a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and you will get an additional ½ ounce of silver with your order. So in regards to the Iraqi Dinar, there's not a whole lot of talk at the moment. But definitely when it comes to this new government in Iraq, it is moving quickly. And I mean very quickly, not just locally, but internationally. Now, normally I would say this is good news, but it's the people that they're dealing with that I'm concerned about. A lot of the individuals that are coming over to talk to this new prime minister are all involved with the World Economic Forum. And so when they come over here, I'm sure what they're doing is working out all the kinks they need to align Iraq into this New World Order agenda. And a big part of that, of course, is the banking system. So Al-Sandi, Iraq seeks to assert balanced relations with its regional and international surroundings. Yeah, I bet. See that the Prime Minister, Al-Sandi, received today a delegation of the U.S. Congress headed by the Senator Mark Tanko and the membership of a number of members of Congress in the presence of the U.S. Ambassador to Iraq. Al-Sandi's media office stated that Senator Tanko, who heads the Veterans Affairs Committee in Congress, extended his congratulations to Al-Sandi on the occasion of assuming his duties and the government's gaining the confidence of the House of Representatives as the first delegation representing the U.S. Congress to visit Iraq after the formation of the government. So during the meeting, they reviewed the bilateral relations between Iraq and the United States, the course of the war on terrorism, and the performance of the Iraqi forces in pursuing the terrorist remnants of ISIS. They also discussed strengthening relations and partnership in accordance with the Strategic Framework Agreement in various fields, especially cooperation in confronting changes, climate, and efforts to combat water scarcity. Al-Sandi pointed out the importance of the relationships of the United States and Iraq's endeavor to assert a balanced relationship with the regional and international surroundings, in a way that preserves Iraq's national sovereignty and supports the region's stability and security. So I really hope that this government is working on the sovereignty of Iraq. I think the United States is more concerned about the fact that Russia and China have been over in Iraq a lot more frequently than the United States has. We know that China wants to include Iraq in the Silk Road Initiative, which is not good for the United States. We know that Iraq is partners with Russia, with OPEC, and there is a huge drain on oils around the world, which is a concern for the United States as gas prices continue to go up. Parliamentary finance is likely to approve the next year's budget at 150 trillion dinars. I like how it says likely. So Thursday, the Parliamentary Financial Committee stated that the next year's budget will reach Parliament at the beginning of next year, while it is likely that the value will reach 150 trillion dinars, while proposed fixing the price of $75 per barrel. Now they're talking about oil, which I'm concerned about. If they're fixing their price at $75 per barrel, that's not leaving a lot of wiggle room. This means that they're counting on average of getting $75 per barrel in order to fund their budget. And I think that's pretty risky. And let me tell you why. Oil prices have been going down for one reason or another. Unless OPEC decides to really reduce oil production in order to drive prices up, I don't think this is very safe. You can look at Brent crude oil today. It is $83.84 per barrel. That doesn't give them very much wiggle room between the $75 that they're projecting to get versus the $83 that is out there now. It was nice when it was up there above $100 per barrel. That gave them some kind of wiggle room, but right now, being around $83 and their budget counts on the crude oil to average $75 per barrel is not a very safe bet. If for one reason or another this whole Ukraine-Russia fiasco ends, and when it does, and they start allowing Russia to provide oil to the world, that means there's going to be a lot more oil, and it's going to drive the price of oil down. And if their budget is based on $75 per barrel, and they don't average $75 per barrel, then they run into a deficit. See, the Ministries of Finance and Planning are serious about completing writing the draft budget for 2023, and there will be discussions about the Council of Ministers, and we believe that it will send to the House of Representatives early next year. So, no budget for 2022, and are hoping to get the draft budget beginning of next year, 2023, which means you're probably looking at the first and second month of 2023 without a budget. And the first contact between them, al-Sudani and Putin stressed the development of bilateral relations in various fields. Yeah, once we pulled out of Iraq and just kind of left them there high and dry, it didn't take very much for Russia and China to run over there right away. As I stated earlier, Iraq and Russia are partners in OPEC, and they keep constant contact with one another in the first place. We also know that Iraq went over and spoke with Saudi Arabia, because we heard rumors that the United States was trying to circumvent Saudi Arabia after Biden and the prince bumped heads. And we're going to go to Iraq directly for their oil, which would not be a good thing if Iraq had done that. I don't think it's going to happen. I'm sure the Saudi prince and the royal family were concerned about that. That's why the meeting between Iraq and Saudi Arabia took place. So Barzani and Ms. Blasshart discussed solving problems with Baghdad and the bombing of Kurdistan. So the KDP is having to go back to the negotiating table over there in Kurdistan. You have a group of people who are supported by Iran. The KDP is considered a terrorist group from Turkey, and they've been bombing some of their strongholds over there, which is not good. Kurdistan is experiencing the same issue I was talking about earlier. There are two separate political parties, one pushing towards that New World Order agenda and the other one wanting to keep their sovereignty. So you're seeing some infighting happening in the government, just like all the other places I mentioned before. The world is in a real interesting time right now in its history, and until the people wake up and realize that they can't rely on your governments, the people who are going to have to make a difference are their own citizens, and that goes everywhere around the world. We could choose to be enslaved by the World Economic Forum's one world government with their one world currency, or we can stand up and say enough is enough. There are more of us than there are them. So for now, the whole talk about the change in the exchange rate seems to have died down. Like I said before, unless it comes directly from the Central Bank of Iraq, all of it is just hearsay speculation. It's just BS. I still hear that there's people out there talking about the rate change is going to be in the budget. Well, here's my thing. Until the budget comes out, we're not going to know. Right now, it's just all speculation. I think BS, but we'll see. Anyways, that's it for now, you guys. Leave your comments down below, and I'll get back at you later. I'm out.